Hello, hello, and welcome back to my show, Opinionated Voice. So, I've been a little hiatus. I've been going a little bit, just trying to figure things out with life and all, trying to understand what these Sixers doing. Like, I'm starting to see the cracks. I'm starting to see the things that need to be dealt with immediately. Not just that Joel Embiid is being injured. He's rested up. He has what, a whole long season ahead of him. He played the first, what, 20 games? I mean, he's a big man. They have toe problems, knee problems, ankle problems, back problems, shoulder problems, you know, problems. And he's the MVP. He's been playing like a freaking superstar. So cut that dude a break. So what I'm here to tell you is that there's something that needs to be done in this roster. Um, we definitely need a shooting guard. A shooting guard is needed to be had. Um, it needs to be had immediately. Like, come on, like everybody can see that there's things that are just not meshing well with this team. And I didn't want to make trades because I figured it would mess up the chemistry of the team, and nobody wants to do that. I especially do not want to mess up the chemistry of this team. But there needs to be there needs to be something to change. And I love D'Anthony Melton. I think that this talk of Tobias Harris not being the All Star that he is terrible. I think he is an All Star. I think he gets a lot of hate from people because his contract was so big. Um, and oh well, how you gonna be in that man pocket? Get out that man pocket. He made a deal. They cut a deal. It's signed. It's delivered. It's given to him. Be easy. Like, y'all be tripping about somebody else's pockets you have nothing to do with. Get out that man pocket. He's doing the best he can with what he has. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, he hasn't shown up a lot in the playoffs. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that he has turned over a new leaf, and that is all going to change. Because if it doesn't, there's no way that Philadelphia is going to be able to make it to the finals at all. Playoffs, second round, maybe third round, maybe. The finals, I don't know. So what needs to be had? So lately we've been playing a lot of teams that are looking like we're making them look out like super teams because the way we're playing against them, we're really slow, sluggish. Last night's game against Atlanta, I just knew we had it in the bag. But because of the way the Maxi plays, the refs don't call those fouls that need to be called. He got fouled out in overtime, but you can't call a foul on him when he gets his arm swatted in the lane. Like that's terrible. He would have went to the free throw line and capped the game. But for some reason, the refs wanted to play their own game. They wanted to do their own thing. I don't know. You think they got a little FanDuel thing going on? I don't know, but it was absolute garbage, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. It was terrible. But other than that, I see that there does need to be another wing out there. Okay, so let's go through the roster. On the starting lineup, Maxi and B. Those are two fixtures on the starting lineup that are not going to be touched no matter what. Hopefully, no matter what. Let's just go with that analogy, okay? Nobody's going to get touched on the Philadelphia 76ers team other than those players that shouldn't be touched, like Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. Okay, the next person is Tobias Harris. Now, where are you going to find a player like him anywhere in this league that guards anywhere from the 1 to the 5 that can get into the paint and score, that can back down a player, spin around, cut, and score. That's going to play defense and swat those balls right into the glass. Where are you going to get these players that's going to match his intensity like that? Where? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll give you a good 2 seconds. Nowhere. Nowhere are you going to find that. It's not available. It's not available. And this league that we're playing in right now, that is not something that's available. Um, that isn't on a fixtured team right now. There's some out there, yeah, of course there are, but none that we have that we're going to be able to achieve and receive. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. You can't all be loosey goosey dummy dum dums. There's no way. There's no way that y'all can be loosey goosey dum dums like that. None. He's he can't be replaced. That let's just say that, okay? He's on his last leg of his contract. He's not going to be replaced in that position by anybody that's going to give them up for a player that they already have like that. Okay? You guys want to send him to the Cracker Jack house. Y'all want to send him to, this team, that team. Like, man, go on. Just move around with that. It's for real. Honestly, just move around with that because it's not going to happen. And all these players that think it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's not. Give it up. Give it up. Okay? So, what about Kelly Oubre Jr.? Dog. Patrick Beverly said it best. The dogs are the ones that have it in them. Like, you can be a pup in training, but those dogs, like, they are hungry and they want to win and they want to fight to win. They're going to do whatever they need to do, even if it's spinning all 5 fouls in a 4 quarter game. Holding on to that 6-1 like it's your lifeline. They're going to do what needs to be done. Kelly Oubre is one of those dogs. I'm not willing to part from him. I don't feel that we should have to part from him. I think uh, I think that kind of departure of Kelly Oubre would be detrimental to our chemistry. I think we're like 6-1 when he's in a lineup with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, um, uh, Nicholas Batum, and Max. So, are we willing to give him up? No, 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 not at all. I don't think. I don't think we are. I don't think we should. Um, it's just it wouldn't be it wouldn't be it wouldn't be something that would help the team. I'll put it that way. It wouldn't help the team. So if you're not going to help the team, why get rid of a player that is helping your team now? You wouldn't, right? Correct. You wouldn't. So what about um trading Kelly Oubre for quote unquote better Kelly Oubre? How about that? No, not gonna work. Why? Because Kelly Oubre is one of those players that they've gone through so much diversity in their careers, different team changes or roster mix up, minutes, all that stuff, that he has built this in him to where he has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody he goes up against, they're gonna get his chest. Period. So is there too many players out there like that? There could be a couple, but like I said, they're on teams that are already cemented. So that's not getting rid of him and putting him in a trade would not be beneficial to us. Moving on next to people that we got in that acquisition late um this year, which was Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, KJ Martin. KJ Martin doesn't get a lot of minutes. He has been as of late because of injuries. Um, he's been playing mediocre. I've been cheering for him to get more minutes to see what he has. It's okay. It's not. It's not. You know. It's not all that. It's not all that. It's okay. I don't think he's in the right mix with Philadelphia. I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that thing we need to shit. Honestly, like he's just um. How can I say this? He's he doesn't have enough minutes to really be a fixture and play calling and stuff. He's more like a rebounder, block a shot, cherry pick type player right now. So could he go to another team and get more minutes? Yeah, he definitely could, and he could develop into a beast. You know, he's been in the league what a couple few years or whatever. He could be a potential beast, but no, I think we don't necessarily have to keep him. We have him. It's great. I cheer you on, but we don't have to keep him. Um, Going on to Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum has showed me a lot. I've been watching Nicholas Batum's game for quite some time, from his time with different teams, and I didn't know that he was as good as a shooter. He's always been a good shooter. I just didn't know he had a quick trigger like that. He has a real good quick trigger. They put him on a lot of guards, which is also surprising to me. He moves his feet really good. And I noticed that last night when he was guarding Trey Young. When they had him on Trey Young, Trey couldn't get nothing off. He was trying to pass. He couldn't throw alley oops, nothing. Why he got switched off of him towards the end, I'm not sure. Oh, foul trouble. Foul trouble. You couldn't breathe on Trey Young last night without him getting a call. I'm like, he is not MJ. Why is he getting this much calls? Like that was annoying as heck. Was I the only person that peeped that out? This man was he basically fouled out Tyrese Maxey. They kept pushing him on and off Tyrese Maxey, but Maxey wasn't doing those fouls where he was getting like shoving him down or snatching the ball in his hands. It was ticky tack, I got my arms up type fouls. Like it was stupid. I think if they're gonna handle him like that, then he needs to go ahead and be rough with it then. Oh, you want me to foul you? Okay, I'll foul you. You'll get fouled. I guarantee that he will not be trying to rush him like that no more. I guarantee it because I'm not gonna say he's a marshmallow, but no player wants to go into a guy that he know he's gonna get a call, but he's gonna be roughed up and he's gonna need to ice up after the game hard. Like no. So if you're gonna call those type of calls, then I'm gonna give you a clear and cut foul. I'm not gonna give you a text, but I'm gonna give you a clear cut foul. And don't come into this lane again, or don't try to drive by me again. If it needs me to trip you, it needs me to run into you a little more on the screen. Like you got to stop him from doing that. Once he did his first when he did his first two back to back fouls like that, I'd have been like, oh, okay, bro, I got you. Like I'm gonna run into you with my chest too. Like Maxie should have turned that stuff up on them, but they wasn't trying to get that smoke because Maxie might look small, but he's strong as heck. When Maxie drove into the paint, people were like stepping in and stepping out because they knew he's strong. They not finna take that hit. They weren't. They just weren't. It wasn't something that it wasn't what they thought it was for real. It wasn't what they thought it was, and that's what they get for real. Because that was ticking me off real bad. Like I can't believe y'all would even like that was making me so mad. So if that is the case, then the Sixers need to be tougher. So let's think about a player that needs to be tougher on that team. I mean, get a player that needs to show them some toughness on that team. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Okay, so we move on from Nicholas Batum to Robert Covington. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes, but when he is out there, he's getting a lot of deflections. Things that don't show up in the box scores, like deflections and um, how many times he's held his player to not scoring. Like those things don't even show up on the stats like they should. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, but he is doing a lot for this team in that category. Um, there's let me see, maybe 5 games I could think of that he played in to where we won those games because of Robert Covington, because of his defense, because of him taking those hard fouls, putting his chest on somebody, and getting in foul trouble where he had to go sit down. He did that. No, nobody sees that. Nobody sees that. They want to see scoring. They want to see, um, 3 point shooting, just a barrage of 3 points. Like, man, come on. Like, the game is so much more than just shooting the ball. Oh, hell of a lot more than just shooting the ball. But that's what you guys want to see. That's what they're going to show you. Period, point blank, dot. That's fine. That's all the way fine. Um, what about um Marcus Morris Senior? Wait a minute, no, is this Marcus Morris Senior? Yeah. Now he's gotten the key to the city today. Shout out to him getting that key to that city. That's all right. That's all right. He's a hometown, homegrown man, and he's making good in the NBA. So how about getting a ring? I think that him getting this, having this ceremony today, should put put some more dog in you. Put some more of that in it. That's when I know you love me. When you put the in it. Hey, don't hold that logo. Like, yeah, I think it should because let me tell you 2 reasons why. Because he spent his entire life watching the Sixers, cheering for the Sixers. You got to understand, he was raised in the Barkley era, some of the Dr. J era. Wait a minute, no. Was he born in the Dr. J era? Era? Nah, nah, nah. Like late in the Dr. J era, like 2 years retired or some crap. Um, but he was there for the Charles Barkley era. He was there for the Allen Iverson era. Like that right there, that era right there will make you cheer for your hometown team. I didn't even like the Patriots, but I cheered for them because of Reggie Miller. I cheered for them because of um, the structure of Tinsley's and the structures of the teams they had um, were just monsters. Like Mark Jackson and so on and so forth. Um, Jalen Rose and so on and so forth. Those players made you want to cheer for them. Um, and then the later Sixers, the later Pacers were fun too. Um, Malice in the Palace, fun. I didn't say violent. I said fun. So there's that. And then you have this guy growing up watching Allen Iverson dissect and destroy teams, making it all the way to the finals, making it all the way to the finals, winning the very first game in LA, and coming home and it was a wrap. It was a wrap, and they. I'm not even gonna talk about that finals because it always brings me bad memories. Good, great, fantastic memories, but it always gives me just ulcers for sure. But so of course he wants to see his team, his homegrown team, succeed. So I think it might put some grit into him. Number two, why it should, is because everybody he grew up with, growing up seeing him play, him and his twin brother, his family, they want to see him succeed. He's gone from team to team to team to team to team. It's time for him to you know, settle his roots down, and he made a stop in his hometown. Why not step up your game? And he has. I ain't even gonna lie. When he first got there, I was like, what is he doing? Like, but I also had to think of in the mindset of he just got traded there. He doesn't know the game plan as far as, yeah, of course you know that you're out there to win, but he doesn't know how to play with Joel. He doesn't know how to play with Maxie. He doesn't know how to play with all these other different players. He's gonna have to get himself acclimated to their scheme of things, their system. And once he did, I think now he knows his role. He knows when he comes off that bench, he needs to score. He needs to set some picks. He needs to, get some defense in. His feet don't move as fast as they should. He should work on that. Marcus Morris, if you listen to this, I need you to work on your footwork, honey. I need you to start to learn how to fly better. I need you to move those feet. Hustle them feet. For real. Like your feet are slow. They're slow. They don't shift as fast as they should be. You're a young guy. Switch up them feet, switch them things up. Put some skates on and start, flying around the ice rink, the roller rink, something. Get light on your toes, something. Work on that. So, should we add him to a trade list? I don't think so. I don't think that would be beneficial because we do need somebody to come off and play the four, sometimes even the five, besides Tobias and Nico. Okay? Let's move on to the list. Anthony Melton. There's a lot of dirt going around about the Anthony Melton thing. Now, you guys know I got a soft spot for D'Anthony because, for one, my dog has his name. My dog's name is Kobe D'Anthony. Okay, I named him after a legend and also an up and coming. Oh, you're probably like, what? D'Anthony? Yeah. This boy is young. He hasn't even been in the year league that long for him to be old and wore down yet. He still has a lot of game in him. And he was swishing those balls last night. Swishing them. I know he's on a minute restriction right now because he just came back from injury or whatever. But he could do the work. Should he be a starter? No, he probably should come off the bench. I think he's better off the bench actually, to be honest with you. Last year when he was coming off the bench, he was tearing them up. He was tearing them up defensively, tearing them up. And him, Robert Covington, um, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias, they some they some in the lane type of deflectors, and I like that. I like defense is huge, 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 huge for me. Quit thinking it just about his scoring and his playmaking. He's not there to be a playmaker. He only had to take on that role because there was some injuries. So be cool. He's there for defense, okay? He's there to shut players the heck. He's there to take shots when his number is called. So be cool with that. Moving on. Furkan Korkmaz. Should we trade him in for somebody? Yeah, we should. But is he getting enough PT for anybody to see what he does? I mean, when he's out there, he's doing his best to get in where he fits in. But does any other team besides Philly know his value? I don't know. I do think we could use Furkan later on in the season um, to give the Meltons and the Maxis and the Beverleys some easement. Springer's there for that as well. I'm not willing to give up Springer just yet because I think he is going to be a beast. I see him being like a Brandon Roy. Why does Brandon Roy come up to my head when I think of James Springer? I don't know. Just the way Brandon Roy was, he just played so hard. And, he put everything out there. That just reminds me of him. Also comes to mind is Steve Francis. Steve Francis comes to mind when I think of Jaden Springer. He's just a young player. He's learning. He's learning from the players around him. Mo Bamba. He's been showing out a little bit lately. He has some value. Let's put him on trade. Let's put him in a trade and get a decent young backup. Young, strong, hungry backup. Like You know what? Not even young, but not old either. What's his name? He just got waived. Biombo, he just got waived. I think we should pick him up on a loosey goosey contract. See what he's working. See how he works out in behind um Reed and Joel. I think he's a good rim protector. He may not be, a 3-point shooter or mid shot threat, but he is a rim protector. He is a good rebounder. We definitely need some more rebounding on this team. You may not see it just yet because you got some rose colored glasses on, but Philly needs some rebounders. When we rebound the ball more than the other team, we're undefeated. We're undefeated when we rebound the more. But who's doing all that? Joel is. Joel is pulling down 12, 13 rebounds a night. So what does that make the other team do? Scrap and rebound too. So we need another rebounder. So, um, Paul Reed, you're saying. What about Paul Reed? Paul Reed is an up and comer. This guy wants it so bad. He wants to be the best so bad that he will. He will. He is going to be a phenomenal basketball player. I see him making strides like Jeremy Grant. When Jeremy Grant came to the Sixers, when he was drafted, nobody cared too much about his skill. But you could see, he's from a stock of good basketball players, great basketball players, championship basketball players. Shout out to Forrest. So you knew Jeremy Grant was gonna be something. It just was gonna be how long it's gonna take him to be something. And he's that person now. Should we trade for him? Sure. Should we put Paul Reed in that trade? Heck no. 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 I don't know. That's that's a no. I think Paul Reed can stay with Philly. I also think that we had picked up some players locked in. We got Council out there. They all in playing in the G League. Um, Trey's out there. These young players that we have are going to be great to play with Maxi and the next season. They're going to watch how he plays and they're going to add to their bag. They're going to add to their bag. Maxi's a great role model as far as your workout, your work ethic. He's out there every day getting better. What is his motto? What 1% better every day? Do that. Do that. And watch how much better you be. Like you gotta push yourself. You gotta have that heart. You gotta have that grit. You gotta have that dog in you to even want to get better. It's some players out here that don't want to get better. They're just happy to be in the NBA and stay in their style. They don't last very long. Look at Anthony Bennett. He refused to change his game. He's no longer in the league. His contract ran out from his rookie contract, and I don't think he got another contract after that. Honestly, I think he just ruined the win. So let's talk about trades. Who should we go after? I hear marketing. I hear um Dewey played last night. DeJounte Murray. I hear Jeremy Grant. I hear Clay Thompson. I hear uh Alex Caruso. I hear all these players. But what exactly does Philadelphia need? We need rebounding and we need some guard slash wing presence. We need a strong guard besides Maxi, next to Maxi. A strong guard. Oubre can't be a guard. He's too valuable off the ball. Too valuable. The way he cuts, it's just too valuable to just keep him stationary. Not to say the guards are stationary because they're not always, but Kelly Oubre, I don't want him on the two. He's great in the position he's in. Um, we need a strong guard. So what are the strong guards out there? We have Clay Thompson. Okay. How is his defense? Not so great. Not so great. Ever since with RJ Barrett shoved him around, like was that RJ Barrett that he pushed and snatched on? No, that was the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who did he snatch up? I don't know. Man, that just fell from my brain that quick. But I mean, that's the roughest, the toughest I've ever seen Clay even act like that. Like I don't know what got into him, but that's the toughest, the aggressiveness I've ever seen him play. And yeah, so there you have that. And then can he shoot the ball? Of course, Clay Thompson can shoot the ball. He's a champion. Will he add some championship voice to the locker room? I don't know. Clay Thompson to me doesn't seem like the type of player that is in the locker room talking about step up, be accountable. Why you ain't guarding him? He ain't guarding you. He doing this and he doing that. Do that. I don't see Clay Thompson being that voice in the locker room. I think Clay Thompson knows what his caliber is. I think he knows his role, and he stays in his lane. I don't think that he's the the boss of the Warriors. No, I think that's Stephen Curry's job. I think he's the one that's more talkative about film and all this that and the other. Maybe Draymond's the one that is a tough talker, the one that makes people be accountable. I don't know. I don't know. Draymond might even be up for trade. Do we want trade? Do we want to get Draymond Green? No. We want to win. We don't want to just fight. We don't want to get penalized. No. So do I think we should pick up Draymond Green? No. I mean, Draymond, you going through some things in your life, and I'm not even going to speak on it because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what you're going through. What has your mind fighting on the court? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with you. I pray that you be well and you be steady and you do whatever this needs to be done so that you don't be out here beating up on folks. Ain't no telling if you at home beating up on folks. I don't know. But do I want you on my team? I don't. I don't. Some years ago, me and MJ had a whole conversation about Draymond's effective. It was the Draymond effect. It wasn't all the way on a podcast. We talked a little bit afterwards, but we had talked about it like for hours one night, and it went back and forth, back and forth. And he was like, "How do you not want Draymond Green on the team?" Because I don't want that type of, uh, I just don't want the way he speaks to people. He doesn't show anybody respect, and I think that would throw off the chemistry of any team. Look what it's done to the Warriors. Ever since he cracked Jordan, well, the team has been in disarray. They got rid of Jordan. They gave him a bigger or they signed him to an extension, this, that, and the other. I don't want it. Moving on. What about marketing? Marketing showed up and showed out the other day, beating us his whole self. I think he'd be a good pickup. What would he do? What would we replace with him? I believe the fan core wants them to trade Tobias for marketing. But let me tell you this: marketing right now plays the four. He's a stretch four, so that means Tobias moves to the three, and Kelly Oubre probably be the two. Earlier, you heard me say that Kelly shouldn't be in the two. Um, will it do a lot of good for Joel Embiid? Heck yeah! I mean, that would space the floor so much. I could just see Kelly Oubre cutting like crazy. I could see Kelly Oubre getting 35 points a game just by cutting. I could see Joel Embiid getting 12, 13 assists a game if marketing was on our team and stretched the floor like that. Yeah, of course. It just depends on what we gonna give up. What is the Jazz willing to give up for their marquee player? Who do you think they're trying to give up? Like honestly, be honest with yourself. They're gonna want a Maxi. They're gonna want a Springer. They're gonna want picks, and we just got those picks. And there's some, whew, there's a good few classes coming out of the woodwork in the next 5 years. There's some really, really great basketball players that are in. Yeah, I'm watching high school ball. My kids are in high school. Um, do I think they'll make the NBA? I don't know. If that's their aspirations, then I want them to do what they feel is best for them. But I'm not talking about my kids. I'm talking about these other kids that are blowing the internet up with their gameplay and their aggressiveness, and players are getting more and more aggressive. The people that they're looking to is longevity of LeBron James. So conditioning will change for these players. They're looking at the work ethic of a Tyrese Maxey. So their bag is going to change. They're looking at the length of Wimbenyana, the fanfare that he's got. It's gonna be a different caliber of basketball player coming out in the next 5 years. Next year, the year after that, that, and that, and that, and that. It's a lot of um, factors you gotta think about in this draft. Like in the '90s, you had a lot of big men coming into the league. A lot. You had Kareem Olajuwon. You had Shaq. You had Dwight coming into the early 2000s. I mean, you had all these players. They were big men. They were coming in. They're not coming in the league like that anymore. They're coming in the league like extra athletic and chiseled, and they can shoot the three and they can boom it in your chest. They can dribble the ball and they can finesse you off the dribble. Like they're a different caliber of player nowadays. And in order for you to see something like that, you got to put yourself in in a position of a scout. Like, what are we gonna need in the next year or two? What who are we gonna lose in the next year or two? Joel Embiid is what 20, late 20s right now. He has about 10 more years in him. Maxie just starting out. He has about a good 10, 15 years in him. I say about 16 years in him. So who are you going to get to play next alongside him? Look at the long game, people. Marketing, yeah, he'll be there. So if you want to get rid of Tobias to get marketing, I mean, we're gonna lose some defense because marketing don't have that much defense. He doesn't have that on-ball defense. He might have that post defense. He might have rim protector, but he doesn't have um, that on-ball defense. And what did Toronto when they tried to beat us? What they do? They ran the ball like crazy. They ran it up and down the field. It was like a track and field meet. It was it was that because they knew run them, run them, run them, run them, run them, run them, run them. Tire everybody out. Tire everybody out. You're gonna need some young legs. Only people that was keeping up with them was Maxi and Oubre and Robert, a little bit of D'Anthony. But they kept running, they kept running. They still lost because why? Because they got tired. Then we played the Rockets. Rockets did the same thing. They tried to run us to death because they got some very young athletes. Tried to run us out of the building, but they got tired. Why, as fans, do we feel we got to give up um, the strategies of what we see? Because what we see in the game and what the coaches may see, what the players may see, they may not see. They may not see that they're, like when we played the Indiana back-to-back games, we won that game because they took T.J. McCollum out. If T.J. McCollum would have stayed in that game, they would have won. But they did. So guess what? The next game, they kept T.J. McConnell in there, and they beat the brakes off of us because he was the X factor. Somehow, some way, he has picked our team apart, our defense apart, and he's been that guy. So who else? Who else is out there? I still feel strongly that we should go after DeRozan, pick up him and Andre Andre Drummond should be on our squad again. He is a rebounding fool. And what do we need, people? To rebound. We have got to rebound the ball. If we rebound the ball better than the opponent, we will win the game. It's as simple as that because when you're rebounding the game more, you have more opportunities to get more points. Okay? Fast breaks and so on and so forth. Second chance points, so on and so forth. So yes, we need Andre Drummond. You're like, oh well, wait a minute. Then he would take Reed Reed's minutes. They could share minutes. You know, go out there and expel yourself and put yourself out there to block those shots. Don't let them get no and ones. Put your chest out there and block everything that's coming towards you and get yourself in foul trouble. Why? Because now we got to back up in Andre Drummond. And Andre Drummond goes out there and he starts smacking stuff out the sky and snatches stuff into his arms and boom, and B can come in and do the and be his great self because why? Because his backup's done absorbed all the fouls. He can go out there and do his thing, spin off, blah blah blah, zero stepping, ba bang, booming on the chest. Okay, that's why I think we should pick up Andre Drummond. Think of it like this: in the playoffs, when in the finals, when Jokic is flailing around and trying to draw fouls, and he draws like 3 fouls on Joel Embiid, who is going to step up and slow him down? I didn't say stop. I said slow Jokic down. Who? You think it's going to be Paul Reed? You think it's going to be Mo Bamba? You think it's going to be Nicholas Batum? Potentially. Okay, but then if Nicholas Batum is on Jokic, who's going to be on they four? What came from Orlando? Why is his name slipping through my fingers? Um, yeah, I know who I'm talking about. Aaron Gordon. Who's gonna guard him? Because he stays in the dunker spot. He stays at home because he knows his role. Even if he's at the 3 point line, he's creeping to that spot because he knows Jokic is probably gonna throw it up if he gets stuck and boom that thing. So who's gonna guard him? If Nicholas Batum and be sitting down, Nicholas Batum is out there. Who? Tobias? Okay. Then who's gonna guard Michael Porter Jr.? Huh? I'm listening. I'm listening. Marcus Morris? Okay, so you're saying now we have Tobias Harris, Marcus Morris, and Nicholas Batum out there without Embiid. And they're running with Slowpoke Jokic, dunk champion Aaron Gordon, and lanky, athletic Michael Porter Jr. Exactly, exactly. We need some more speed. We need some more versatility. We need somebody like Draymond. My bad, Draymond. Andre Drummond that will hold on to Jokic, that will block those Aaron Gordon shots, that will get those rebounds that Jokic think he's trying to get, but he's gonna get down. Go back and look at when Andre Drummond was on our squad. Go back and watch that. We traded him in the middle of the season, but go back and watch what he was doing. He was on a tear. He was on an absolute tear. But he also was tired. Quiet. He also was tired. Hold on 1 second. Pause the call.